So it's Gigabit Europe 2015 in Munich, and we've heard from a lot of industry experts from the service provider, consultancy and vendor side of the market. So I asked a few of them to tell us what's the key takeaway from the event this year.
For me, it's been fascinating to listen to all the talks today and all the panel discussions and even the conversations in the social areas outside, where it's clear that the demand, the anticipated demand for these services, firmly everybody within the room believes that that demand is going to come forward. And really it's now a question about how we can, as an industry, deliver upon the demands that are coming from the customer side of things. I think there's a whole wealth of different approaches available to the industry. It's quite clear there's no silver bullet there. I think the topologies, the technologies that will be employed are on a case-by-case basis, on a country-by-country basis. But the great thing that I picked up on from today is the number of different solutions that we've got available to us as an industry will facilitate a reasonably timely rollout towards gigabit services in the future.
Key takeaway from this event is definitely new technologies on access side, which brings several movements into the network. So shortening the copper loop with GFast and another super vector technology, or on another side doing a consolidation OLT, which will in the future be having more virtualized services running from the SDN cloud environment. So we should not forget how services will be delivered in the future. We need to take care also about this part when we are considering implementing new technologies for the last mile access for the broadband.
Well, I think that for network operator, this event was particularly interesting because it was a combination of all views about the industry players, the different vendors, about what different network or service providers have learned in other markets, and also looking at the different technologies that were shown by the different vendors. So I think it's the whole thing of convergence between different technologies was touched very, very well, I think. You have the fiber, you have copper, you have a combination with also DOCSIS type of technologies and mobile. It gave a very broad overview, in fact, of what solutions a network provider can get to come to the gigabit world, in fact. Okay.
So the key takeaway is that gigabit is possible, gigabit is real, it's here, it's now. Basically at the event what we've seen is the different strategies that the service providers, the early adopters of those technologies are taking, how this will play in their product mix to differentiate in their competitive markets, how this will benefit the society. We looked at the different roadblocks of the deployment from the core of the network to the access technologies in the house, what applications, what is the business case. So I think it's really a very compelling way of looking at the deployment of gigabit cities.
So there are just some of the key takeaways from some of the participants and attendees here at Gigabit Europe 2015. For me, the key takeaway is that there are different ways to approach the road to Gigabit Europe. There are different business models that can be deployed either on a wholesale or retail services prospect and plan, and that gigabit, well, it's already here in Europe, and there's going to be more of it in the years to come. And we look forward to talking about the other operators that have launched gigabit broadband services in Europe at next year's event.